Is brought to you by Even Keel Fish Shack.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hello and happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, a special remote edition. We're here at Even Keel Fish Shack in lovely Lauderdale by the Sea for our monthly show. And we welcome back to the show
Mr. New Orleans,
Mr. Nola himself, Jeff Defo DeForest. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
How are you? And before I get started with the details of the trip, it is National Cuban Sandwich Day. And
it's actually a Cuban Sandwich Day today, inside of Sandwich Month.
Yes,
there is no
that's the
other
whole point.
reason that would be, bringing onto the property of another restaurant, which is considered a foul pas. But they let us. They forgive us our trespasses and sins.
You
here.
said to Brad, "You mind if I eat this?" Which I thought was
Well, I
pretty
also
lame, for a food critic to come in,
He's
thinking this
also
was good.
going to be bringing out the kitchen sink later on, and again for Sandwich Month. He's going to be bringing us a lobster roll. They have a terrific lobster roll here.
That's
I'm gonna
Lubie's favorite.
I'm
by
going
the
to
way.
be eating the Cuban sandwich that Jim Sarney, the official mascot and statistician.
This one looks
of the
good. Where's
Lunchbox,
it from?
And he brought it from Cow Bakery, CAO. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Cow. It's Cuban American Original, I think,
All
is
right.
what it stands for.
Where's
There's
that
a
at?
bunch of them. Sarney, where'd you get it? The one in Fort Lauderdale. There's one on Federal Highway in Fort
He's
Lauderdale.
watching soccer.
I'm just
or
going to
something,
guess
yeah.
that's where he's already from.
Absorbed in something else.
And I gotta hold on a second. I'm trying to get this up on the. You talk about New Orleans for a little bit.
Oh, it was great. I mean, it was both a sodium and financial bloodbath. I mean, the coldest machines I've ever seen. Even the Mustang got shut out. She's a queen of slots. So that was rough, although she did recoup, her losses the second day. And so we went into the third day with her, at least even me buried. I made a crucial error at Monmouth Park under the Mike Mayo bet a little to win a lot theory, which I liked a couple of horses in the daily double. They both won, and I was thinking about extending it out at least to a pick 3 with an all ticket, which I didn't do. And sure enough, 60-1 shot won the third race. And then if you extrapolated it out with a 4-5 shot in the fourth leg and a modest favorite 2-3-1 in the fifth leg, $16,000 out the window.
This is not Degenerate Friday.
Yeah.
We're here for the food, but I guess every Defo gambling story usually ends with, I hit the big long shot. All I needed was the chalk, and he fell on his face.
Oh, yeah. That's
And-
fell on his face like that horse in New York that was pulling the carriage.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my
look
goodness.
At this. We've got
wow.
lobster
That's a
rolls.
serious
We got
lobster
Brad.
roll.
Say hi to Brad, everybody.
Wow.
He does such a tremendous job
Wow,
here at
look
Even
at
Keel
this.
Fish. And I told them
You've outdone yourself, Mr. Brad.
I
That's
committed
unbelievable.
a big faux pas because it's
he
National
gonna eat
Cuban
that?
Sandwich Day. But what do you think? Well, we'll get him on
Put
the air
him
maybe
on,
in a minute.
yeah.
Get him on. We're going to throw you on.
Pop him right
He
in here.
said he was in no condition to come on the air, but we can't resist, especially when. Can you look at these beauties? He puts it on these buttered brioche rolls. His lobster roll looks spectacular.
Yeah, we get them
Thank
delivered fresh every day. So
Nice. What are they? They got a little bit of like a butter or something.
so we make a Fresno cold water lobster is naturally sweet, right? So we kind of counter that with a little, obviously poaching it in butter, but we do a ginger Fresno butter that we do with the lobster.
Ginger Fresno butter.
Fresno. Yeah, it's just enhancing the lobster just to complement
Fresno.
the lobster.
Now,
Yeah.
it's great because, sometimes I'm a purist and a minimalist. I was like, I don't want anything fouling my lobster. Just put a little dash of lemon, maybe a little Tabasco sauce, but dip it in the clarified butter. But you guys, you raise the game because I always, after I taste what you do, when you do the razzle dazzle and the Fresno lime butter, I always say, wow, that is damn good stuff. And so I'm going to dig right in because I can't.
You should,
Take a bite.
And,
I'm not going to eat Lubies.
Do I go toe-to-toe with Mayo on this?
Hopefully I don't drool it onto the Cuban sandwich.
Wow.
I'm going to make you take a bite of that.
You don't want, especially with lobster. Lobster is such a, it's such a premium product. You don't want to go too overboard with it. You just want to complement the lobster flavor. Mike, you did go right in. We don't even have a napkin here. This is
Oh, that's
Use
great. Man.
Use your T-shirt.
We try to have him protect the equipment at least a little bit, but he's even gone past that.
It's outstanding. And you mentioned
Wow.
the T-shirt. I don't want to use it as a napkin just yet because it's brand new. And again, thanks to Jim Sarney for Sandwich Month. That you can see he got a specially printed T-shirt, and on the back, I guess I could swivel around all the way. It shows Mayo 31.
Yeah.
What's the 31 for, Mike? What is 31?
There's 31 days in August.
Oh, gotcha.
And my goal was to eat a sandwich a day.
Okay.
I have smashed that. This is now, I'm up to I'm now up to 32 or 33.
Nice.
I'm going for 40.
Yeah,
I'm
go.
kind of like Bonds.
You
I'm
can't
just
stop.
going
You got this far. You don't want to stop.
that Lobster Roll. I got to
Insane.
tell everybody, come on out. Even Keel Fish Shack, corner of A1A,
That is
Commercial
great.
Boulevard.
That is great.
I've been longtime supporters and fans of them ever since they were at the other place. But this place along the beach, open air, get those cool tropical breezes. You come in your shorts and your flip-flops. You don't have to get all gussied up, but you're going to get some high-quality, tremendous food. And you guys have been just great to us. So I
Thank
appreciate
you. You guys
it.
have been great to us, too. So
There are many times, too, where lobster rolls are bitterly disappointing.
Yeah.
What was the famous food truck that got known because they were on like Shark Tank or
Cousins.
something?
I don't want to trash anybody.
No, we're not trashing anybody, but just,
Well, I do
you
wanna
go
trash.
there.
Comes
and,
out of a cryovac bag.
you're expecting something really, really sensational, and then you go there and you go, what's this?
Because you're paying $40 for a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like you need to the expectation's already there because you're paying a premium for it. And like I said, we don't want to do anything to overtake the great flavor the lobster already has. We just want to enhance it. That's all we want to do.
I want to down
That's
this
beautiful.
whole thing, but I'm going to offer in basically observance of the Cuban Sandwich Day. I'm going to make you take a half of this Cuban sandwich right now, and we're
All right.
going to do a little toast
You guys do it,
to Cuban sandwiches. And
Cheers.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because as you can see, this Cuban sandwich, which comes from this Cuban American original bakery,
Sure.
Cow Bakery. I always grew up where it was the flat slices of roast pork, kind of like when you have roast beef.
Yeah.
It's sliced like deli meat with the sliced ham. This one, and I'm noticing a
it's
lot,
pulled pork.
they're using the lechon asado, the shredded pork, which is a little bit moister and maybe more flavorful.
Right.
But to me, it betrays what a Cuban sandwich should be because it's like you don't see a combo roast beef turkey sandwich at La Spada's. They don't use pot roast on it. They don't use shredded pot. They use the sliced roast beef. How do you feel about this?
I don't know. I think it's people have been remaking this sandwich for ever anymore. I think it comes down to how good it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a purist and I'm a traditionalist too, but I think it matters to me how good it tastes, to be honest. I mean, if they think they can make a more tender, moister pork by slow roasting it and then pulling it, and maybe soaking it back in the braising liquid or something, that's kind of what I would do. But
the other thing that's happened that's become a big topic of debate, and he's going in on it. He is officially initiated into the lunchbox.
I'm hungover, right?
So everything
I'm
is good.
starving,
Yeah.
hungry, I'm thirsty,
I
I'm
love
tired
it.
all at the same
I
time.
love a chef who is completely honest. And a sandwich like this is the perfect hangover food.
This is really good.
Okay, so you're digging the shredded pork.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that's happened to Cuban sandwiches that I am a little bit dismayed by is even this one. It used to be just yellow mustard. They now put mayonnaise.
A Dijonnaise is what they kind of call it,
Yeah, they put
That's
the
a fancy
mustard
way.
with the mayo.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of like just straight up because I get enough fat from the ham and the cheese. I don't necessarily need mayo on it.
I agree. I think a really strong, and I don't think they put enough. They don't, maybe not quite enough mustard on this, because you need that acidity, spiciness to kind of cut through all the fat and the cheese and the bread's really buttery too, But it's a good sandwich. It's good.
All right, gets a thumbs up from the chef.
I'm powering down.
Mr. Particular, Mike Mayo, what do you think? You still have some on your face, for the
Save it
viewing
for
audience
later.
out there, which is great.
This has just become an eating.
It's a mess.
Wow.
Yeah, it's become a mess.
I apologize. I'm going to go back in.
I'm going to hand this back over. I'm going to
Yeah, this lobster roll is sensational,
Right.
man.
Well, before
Yeah.
you go shuck the
Okay.
oysters, actually, if you shuck them and come back, we'll talk about raw oysters.
Yeah.
They've been in the news a little bit lately.
Yeah.
And I know you got things to do, but
No,
we
it's okay.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
shuck a couple oysters, and then I'm going to go daredevil and actually consume raw oysters on the air.
I'm going to have one with you.
Despite the notices that are required by the state that the consumption of raw seafood can be hazardous to your health, and which we unfortunately learned. And again, tragic situation. I don't mean to make light of it, but I do want to also tell people everything is, you got to put it in context.
You do.
And we'll talk more about oysters in a minute.
You're
Thank you for the lobster.
You're very, very welcome. Give me a couple minutes. I'll be back.
All right. Sounds good. Brad, ladies
The
and
always
gentlemen.
outstanding Chef Brad.
Man, does he get into it, though? I mean, it's beautiful. I loved his analysis on the Cuban sandwich. One of his tremendous depth and
Pretty much
detail.
telling Mayo you're wrong.
And
like, look, I want it to taste good. I don't give a crap about
it's the way he does
consistency.
the bun, though, on this thing. The bread is also kind of,
Look at you. Did you even
toasted.
take a bite?
I took a bite, yeah.
You
I mean,
took a rabbit nibble.
I'm,
top.
I can't really stuff myself on the show here because I
Eating
still
on
have a
air
lot of
really
stuff to
weirds
do.
me out.
So, and I just coming off a 3-day food bloodbath also in New Orleans, which kind of interesting stuff. Again, another, even though the food was good, another bizarre service episode in a steakhouse.
I can't wait to hear about it.
They have a place called the Steakhouse, which puts on a nice product. Obviously extremely pricey. It's a casino restaurant, but not overwhelmingly.
This is
so.
in Harris, right?
In Harris,
You're in New Orleans,
Yeah.
the food capital, restaurant capital
of
of
the top,
America.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with this place.
And you're stuffing yourself with Lucky Dogs and the Steakhouse at
This
the
was
casino
auxiliary stuff.
because
No,
they gave you comped you. Did they
Of
comp?
course, they give you a generous comp. Now they have some real good New Orleans fare there in the Steakhouse in New Orleans.
Do you know the name of the steakhouse?
It's
Who's
called the Steakhouse.
The
Yeah,
Steakhouse.
It's
Okay,
called
so
the
no
Steakhouse.
celebrity chef, no Gordon Ramsay, no.
Nothing like that. They do a nice variety of grilled oysters. They're probably double the price that they would be if you went out to one of the local places. Although market price on oysters has climbed significantly, even in New Orleans. Used to be, you'd get a dozen grilled oysters for like $20. And that wasn't that long ago. I mean, I know you're going to say I got that price in the Stone Age, but that's not true, Mike Mayo. And now they're like anywhere from 26 to 28 a dozen, which, is a pretty substantial
Fantastic,
increase. You're talking about a 40% increase in the last year or so that I remember. Yeah.
And that's using the Gulf, like Louisiana or Texas.
Of course,
oysters?
yeah.
are
I
questionable
mean, this
right
is
now.
their
That's a little-
natural
okay.
stuff.
Um,
That was market price in a couple of places. MP.
because I could see paying that for the cold water oysters, the ones from Prince Edward Island, the Malpecs, the Duxbury's from Massachusetts, the things that they have on the board right here.
Yeah.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't say today is Oyster Tuesday at Even Keel.
There you go.
$2
Great
oysters
job,
all
yeah.
day. Usually they have $2 oysters during their happy hour, 4 to 7. But on Tuesday nights, you can come in and you get these. They have Blue Points from Connecticut,
There you
Malpecs from Prince Edward Island, which I absolutely love.
That's your
those.
favorite. Yeah.
And
Those are
then
great.
Delaware Bay, I think those are from Delaware, all further up the coast. I happen to love those Malpecs. They are just like briny and little smaller ones, and from super cold waters. But yeah, those you get you can get a dozen of them for $24, and that's
Well,
that's
it's
a good
raw,
thing.
though. I mean, maybe they had a little bit of an upcharge for the grilled oysters. That's possible. I think the raw oysters were a little bit cheaper, a little less pricey, but nonetheless, it was a pretty good increase. Getting back to the Steakhouse, though,
Yeah.
this was weird. This was something that never happened to me before
No,
in a
I
restaurant.
want to go off on a tangent because I heard you on the morning show talking about that. You went to all three major
I did.
touristy oyster houses.
Yes.
The Acme, which is your usual
My usual go-to,
spot, and
yeah.
you notice how I am not making a face right now.
Which is hard for you to do,
Yeah,
only because you have food in front of you or you're not making a face, Mayo.
No,
we know about you,
Acme's fine.
Mr. Cafe de
I
Monde.
actually
It's
prefer
okay.
Felix's, and I think I heard you say that
He's
Felix's were
today.
great.
that you might have given the nod in a blind tasting. To
Might have.
Felix's
I might have
grilled
done it.
oysters.
They have a little bit more of a charred taste to them, which is great. Oysters are oysters, essentially. You're getting them from the same source. They all essentially have the same recipe for them. Drago's is very good, underrated. It's in the Hilton Hotel, and they got this giant flame going. I was telling Lubie this morning, you're almost tempted to call the California Fire Department because it looks like something that's raging out of control.
Jimmy Johnson or Trump, people that use hairspray should not go
No,
near it.
I mean, this thing goes radically, and I kind of like that. I dig a little bit of a show with my restaurant experience, but and all three
Don't eat
places
flaming
were
hair.
excellent. I mean, you really couldn't go wrong in any of those
You
places.
still haven't checked out my spot, which is the Pascal's Manale.
Never got there, never got near there.
because it's too far from the hotel. It's not stumbling distance. So
No, I
again,
mean Bourbon Street is a bit of a
it's-
walk, no
it's-
matter what you do. So
we're staying on Canal at the base near the river there, the Harris. And anyway, get back to the steakhouse.
oh,
What
the
happened at
steakhouse. Okay, so
steakhouse?
this never happened to me in any restaurant that I've ever been in my life. All right.
Okay.
The service was, the person was friendly, but it almost seemed like we were an afterthought. Even though the restaurant wasn't fully packed or anything, it seemed like they had ample people on the floor to take care of everybody in a friendly fashion. They didn't seem overwhelmingly friendly. I don't know if that's because they noticed a comp right away and figure you're going to be a stiff. I'm not sure what the approach is, but most of the people I'm assuming that are in there are in there on a comp. Like, this is not a restaurant, as you said, you would go out of your way while in New Orleans to go dine at, because you could eat a million places and probably get something better or, and less expensive. Exactly. So anyway, they have 2 items on the menu. I'm going to get myself some kind of piece of red meat as, I do when I'm in these situations. It's the only time I really go for steaks. Yeah. So they had a prime rib, and then they had a prime ribeye. Okay. Both listed on the menu at different prices. A prime rib and a prime ribeye was right underneath it. So I ordered the ribeye. Yeah. Okay. All right. And confirmed by the waitress, who had already messed up a couple of other things on the order, just simple stuff. But, and she corrected it all. I try to be, stay composed. I'm not one of these guys who gets all radical if a waiter or waitress makes a mistake, as long as they're amenable to correcting them. So now the runner comes out with the dish, and it's not a prime ribeye. It's not a ribeye. It's a prime rib. Mm-hmm. All right, so I look at the guy. I say, "This is great, but it's not what I ordered. I ordered the ribeye steak." He says, "No, that is the ribeye steak. That's the prime rib."
You know what prime rib is?
I said, "No. It looks like a roast beef thing. I'm going to cut it. The guy's already gone before I get into it." Insisting that I'm wrong and that this was the ribeye steak. Now, you should know the difference. It's recognizable.
Oh, it's a steakhouse basic. Yeah. Anybody who's working in a steakhouse.
How do you not know, right? I mean, the guy, and plus now, it came down with the au jus.
How did they correct it?
Slowly. What happened was, so after this guy insists that this was the dish that I ordered, and it wasn't, not saying that I ordered prime rib, but he knew I ordered the ribeye. Tried to tell me this prime rib was the ribeye. Right. It took me a while to get the actual server to come over, the waitress, and she comes over, and I said, "This is great, but it's not what I ordered." And she says, "Oh, okay," and disappears. Takes the plate back, and I'm assuming I'm going to get my steak eventually, which I did. And it was another occasion where the meal was already pretty much over by the time I got served.
There's nothing worse than when they finally
make it it's a $60 steak. I mean, you're talking about
$60 steak that was nothing to you because it was comped. So sometimes you get what you don't pay for.
But that shouldn't happen. I mean, these restaurants should really be on. They should be even more on top of their game.
And usually my inclination is to blame you. I don't think there's any way to blame you on this except for this one thing. You don't need to even use the word prime when ordering a ribeye. If the steakhouse is offering...
But I didn't. I said I wanted the ribeye. That was clear.
Oh, if you just said ribeye...
They called it the prime ribeye on the menu.
They call it the prime ribeye because it's USDA prime meat. Right. That's fine. But if you order a ribeye and then you bring your prime rib, it's like you might have been...
And then tell me that it is the ribeye.
But you weren't born.
They're different. One's like a roast, one's like a grilled steak.
It's not even close. Yeah. So that was a little weird.
Inexcusable.
Now, here's another thing that happened. I didn't get to capitalize on this, but
I'm going to go into more.
Next time I go.
You sound like you belong in the Let's Eat group. Let's Complain South Florida.
I'm not complaining. Am I complaining? I'm just telling you that this never happened to me before. I dealt with it. I wasn't like I made a big scene about it.
It's not necessarily a bad thing when you have a right to complain. I mean, this is something that's, look.
Would I eat the grilled shrimp if I had ordered a steak? No. I mean, it wasn't the same thing I ordered.
Well, look, even if it's a comp, the reason they comp you is because they want to show off the things they have, right? It's a steakhouse they're proud of.
Yeah.
They want you to go there, have a good time, and rave to everyone. When you come here, you should try out the steakhouse. That's the point of a comp. Like, it's to get you to come back again, not to get you to bitch about it.
The pictures on the wall make it look fantastic, which, the food there is good. I wouldn't, like I said, were it not a freebie or somewhat freebie, I still would. I mean, $150 wasn't enough for the two of us to cover that. So
the man is back.
I mean, it was a semi-comp.
You're
Look
going
at
to eat
this.
with him.
Oh,
all right,
Brad is back. He brought back some shucked raw oysters.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, there's no interruption.
He was worried about my whining about a restaurant where they served me a dish that I didn't order and then insisted it was the dish.
He's at
not that they ordered wrong, but that this was
like chicken or steak or something.
Yeah, it was like that.
High-end steakhouse at a New Orleans casino. He orders ribeye, and they bring him a slice of prime rib, and then they insist.
They insist it was the ribeye.
That's crazy.
And then later they corrected it, but by then your steak comes out an hour later and you're already tired of it. And you're thinking, let me go blow another couple of hundred in the slot machines and make up for the comp here. Yeah.
We're back with Brad. We're at Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A Commercial Boulevard. I'm slurring my words. What is going on? I think I'm having
You're
a
going to put a little
reaction.
vodka in your beer, huh?
You're swearing your
You sound-
lurs?
you sound like
Is
me
that what you
last night.
said? You're swearing your
Stella
lurs?
with crack. Oh, it's all good. I think it's just that lime Fresno butter.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's so good.
So good.
It's triggering all the endorphins in my brain. So again, thanks for that. And
Yep.
now, what have we here? You shucked a couple of
Wow, that looks
Yeah.
good.
So this is our normal oyster. This is kind of what our normal oyster spread comes with. We've got
Yeah, you guys can see it.
cold water oysters.
these blue points, or
These are Delaware based. These are from
Delaware based?
Delaware.
Mhm.
They're a meteor oyster, but they're not very briny. They got a little sweetness to it. They're a really, really good everyday, every person oyster. And we always serve with a little fresh horseradish, some cocktail with some fresh chopped dill in
I
it.
love the setup here. It's so
And,
proper
yeah,
for oyster connoisseurs like me.
A champagne mignonette with a little tarragon, and then our homemade hot sauce, which
Wow.
we're really proud of.
This
Too.
Nice
stuff,
presentation. Yeah.
I'm almost out of my last bottle that I brought.
Well,
for you guys,
we
so
got
I'm
some
gonna-
fermenting right now. It's ready to go.
I
so
got to
snag
get
a
some
bottle on
because
your way out.
I throw that stuff on everything.
Now, have you noticed
Eggs.
any hesitation? I mean, this was widely publicized. I know Mike wanted to get into this. The guy checked out. Now, it turned out he had like leukemia,
No, he had
Alzheimer's.
Other,
He had a lot of complications,
No.
which
Yes.
the people
younger
that with
guy.
the
chopped up.
disease
Yeah.
control say this can be the one thing that
Right.
sparks it.
Right.
It's a rare incident. That
Right,
this would
right.
have that much impact on a guy.
If you are older, and in this case, this person was only 44 years old. He had some other conditions and things going on that. Again, if you have a compromised immune system, it makes the risk of eating raw
Sure.
seafood a little
Sure.
bit higher. But how would you assess it? The risks versus the rewards versus, let's say, eating a salad and the potential for getting some kind of contamination, or burgers with E. coli.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we could walk out. We could walk outside and get hit by. I mean,
Yeah.
like there's dangers in just opening your eyes every morning, right? So, in my opinion, oysters are a product of their environment, 1,000%. Which I guess a lot of seafood, a lot of food items are in general, but they're a product of their environment. They're a bivalve mollusk, which means that they circulate their water through their body.
They excrete into themselves.
right.
Is basically.
I did that in the casino a couple of times.
After the prime rib.
Oh my God!
So that being said, there's another side of that. There's also a temperature danger zone for eating raw food. Oysters in the summertime in the Gulf of Mexico, that water can get up to 85 degrees.
Right. Even in
You know
the
what I mean?
farmed
Even
areas.
in the farmed areas.
Farm oyster, and
Which-
even though they pasteurize them and
Right.
they treat them in different ways.
Which is right in the middle of that perfect environment for bacteria and stuff like that to grow. So is it am I saying you can never eat a Gulf warm water oyster in the summertime raw ever? No, that's not the case. But is there more of a chance that you're going to get some kind of bacteria? Yes. Cold water oysters in the wintertime up in the Northeast in Nova Scotia and in the
PEI.
Northeast. Yeah. That water's 30 degrees and it's circulating and it's cold. I mean, it's below 40. Bacteria. Right. So food bacteria usually live between 40 and 140. So you get below 40 degrees, you should be good to go, and it's safe.
And that's why, I mean, I basically year round now I avoid the Gulf oysters raw. I'll have them grilled.
Right.
And I like the
and
oysters.
that's what we do. We have them here.
And
we have Gulf here, and then we grill them.
On your happy hour menu.
Right.
They're great. And I know at one point I think you're using Virginia ones. I don't know where you're sourcing
whatever.
them from now.
We just want a really big, meaty oyster. That's really what we're looking for.
And again, once you grill them and it goes above a certain temperature, boom, the bacteria is gone. The risk is almost gone.
Right.
But when you're talking about raw, again, I go to the cold waters, and today it's $2 oyster day, right?
It's $2 oyster day today.
So all your cold water oysters, and that's all you're offering now on the half shell raw.
That's usually
and
what we
I'm
do.
gonna show. I'm no evil Knievel. I'm just a guy who likes food.
Yeah.
Now, Defo the septuagenarian.
I'm not worried about it.
He's going to be.
You know what? I'll say
this.
There wasn't that much concern in Louisiana, in New Orleans. I didn't see any overwhelming concern for the people about the raw oysters they were served.
My dad, everybody's been to New Orleans and had a couple oysters, and those come out of the water there. You know what I mean? And it's not that there's anything It's not that there's anything wrong with that. And some people prefer eating Gulf oysters. You get people from that area that
they're great.
They come in here. They're like, "Do you guys have Gulf oysters?" And we're unfortunately we don't. But it's a preference. It's totally a preference.
We have to unseal this thing.
You just pop it off.
There you go.
Got it.
Pop
or
it in
you
there.
just you do it and then a little squirt.
Yeah.
I got a
squirt
little
on
drench.
yeah.
This is good. I love the fact that you've got the fresh cut horseradish. That's something you don't see every day.
You just shave. You get the roots.
And
you just shave yourself.
I'm usually a purist. I like just putting a squirt of a hot sauce and a lemon on an oyster because there's nothing better than that just fresh brine.
Right.
But when the way you got your mignonette and the
You
horseradish,
just do a little combo.
and so here's down the hatch, and I'm going to show.
Wow.
So good, properly shucked.
Yeah.
The horseradish shooting up my nostrils now.
That fresh horseradish gets you. It only takes a little bit. Stuff.
He's going to need a standing 8 count over here in a minute. We keep this going with it.
Here's another thing that's not scientifically proven, but I'm saying if you're going to eat raw oysters, a little bit of alcohol helps to kill the bacteria.
I like the fact that you mixed in a Cuban sandwich here with all of this. I mean, only you could pull this off, Mike Mayo, on the Lunchbox.
This is impressive, Mike.
And
you're going to town today, man. You're in some kind of mood. You woke up this morning, you're like, I don't.
I've been in this mood all month.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Guys that are walking the Green Mile don't have this much food in their system.
Right.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's never happened before where I've broken into a oyster lobster sweat. Usually it's the meat sweat.
This Lobster Roll, I can't wait to really dive into it. It's going to be fantastic.
Their products here are so good.
Wow.
I mean, the way they prepare, I love just coming in here on a Tuesday and getting a dozen or 2 dozen of those cold water oysters because perfect summertime food.
It is.
The hot sauce also makes it. I mean, that's a good, hot sauce.
Like I said, we make it in-house. We make it 4 gallons at a time. We let it ferment for 2 months, and then we put it out. We can sell it by the bottle, but it's not an over-the-top hot sauce. It's a complimentary. It's just like everything else that we do.
Good, yeah.
We want to stay, honest with the products, and we don't want to go. We don't need to go over the top. We don't need to overshadow anything with using overly seasoned items or
and you do oyster shooters too. So for those who do want to subscribe to my theory that the alcohol will negate some of the potential bacteria, the pathogens. Thank you. That's the word, Professor. Thank
I don't know where this came from.
But yeah, the oyster shooter. What do you do with that? It's a little.
We do a couple different ones. Well, we've got like fermented. There's pineapple, cactus, with a little bit of sweet pepper that we do with some tequila. But you could do a traditional oyster shooter with a little Bloody Mary. You could do a Bloody Mary oyster shooter if you want to do something like that. But
so good.
Yeah,
so good. I think we need to get one of that. What was that thing? The first one you mentioned. We need to.
The tequila with the cactus and pineapple. Yeah.
Lubie with
that's a good combo. I had that when I was here a month ago with Chef Josie. We came in; they'd never been in here. I brought them in. We had a blast. Dave was here that day. I don't know if you know Chef Josie from Bubbles and Pearls, another chef, a proprietor that also believes
Even Keel fan,
oysters.
So. Anyway, Brad, we're going to let you get back.
Thanks.
Dynamite
it's great having you guys here.
Thank you so much. I hope that.
Thanks, guys. My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you for
very nice, man.
Enduring us. And
this guy does a hell of a job. I mean, he really does.
He's
You're right about, I dig this about, restaurant people when you talk to them, and we've had a lot of them on the show, but you see it, in different places, and they talk about it even in New Orleans. If you ask somebody what's in stuff, they'll give you the ingredients, and it's always great, the attention to detail that a guy like Brad has, because he will go out of his way to find like some special brand of saffron or whatever, makes all the difference in the world.
They do all the plates they do here, like the setups, the ingredients, they add that little extra special touch.
Yes.
It's the kind of things that you can find all around Greater Fort Lauderdale. I mean, obviously, Even Keel's a special place.
Nice transition. You see how he's growing?
He's gotten really good.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better at this.
There's
no question. Script anymore. We're going to be going out with Nikki Mohan this Thursday to Il Paisano.
Speak from the heart. That's how I always felt about this business.
We're going to be doing a Visit Lauderdale, Everyone Under the Sun, Every Dish Under the Sun segment this Thursday, Il Paisano on East Oakland Park Boulevard. Come on out and watch us do the show from 12 to 1. We always enjoy having a crowd.
Yes.
But better yet, go out and avail yourself of all the great specials that are ongoing this month and all September long with the Visit Lauderdale, Dine Out Lauderdale deals going on. And that's where you could go to all these top high-end restaurants all around the county and get specially prepared 3- and 4-course dinners for starting at just $35. And again, you go to visitlauderdale.com/deals to check out all the places and all the menus. And there's over 50 participating restaurants. Places like Evelyn's on the beach at the new Four Seasons Resort. Talk about upscale.
I really want to get out to the Catherine to actually have a meal there. That place
Catherine, we've
looked
got,
amazing.
I've been meaning to go back there because Timon and Marissa, his wife, they do such an excellent job, even if it's not Dine Out Lauderdale time of year. But with it being Dine Out Lauderdale,
Yeah.
unbelievable savings and value. You can get a 3-course, 4-course meal there for, I believe it's just $45. Significant savings, and places like that. You can also go. I was looking near you, Pompano, Cafe Max.
The Max is
and they always
fantastic,
have a lot of different choices on their
Chef
Dine
Oliver
Out
and
Lauderdale.
Daryl. I mean, they do
That's
a
a
great
friend.
job. Yeah.
And that's a place also upscale, usually a little bit pricey during the normal times, but you go there, Dine Out Lauderdale this month, next month, you're going to get
What kind of discount you
fantastic
get in a place like that?
You usually get a 3-course dinner for
Oh, nice.
$45.
Oh,
and
that's nice.
their main courses usually go for
Yeah.
about
Lower
that.
entrees are like 45.
Yeah.
yes.
So again, go in there, check it out. And again, visit lauderdale.com/deals. Start planning your taste of the good life for less now. And we'll see you on Thursday with Nikki Mohan at Il Paesano Italian Market and Restaurant in Fort Lauderdale.
All right. Does he need a cut man? Does he need the ref to step in and stop it? Where are we at with Mayo
I need
and the
another
food?
bite of this
All right,
Fresno
he's
lime
going to chow
butter.
down on the Fresno lime. I mean, just an incredible job done by Brad here at Even Keel Fish Shack. We'll return with more of Mike Mayo's Let's Stuff Ourselves on the Show Lunchbox in a moment.
I think he made a
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo here for Costas Greek Eatery and Pizzeria. If you want to take a trip to the Aegean without getting on a plane and no need for a passport, just go up to 1940 Northeast 49th Street in Pompano Beach, just west of Federal Highway, just a little bit north of Sample Road, and you will be transported to Greece along with a New York-style pizzeria. They do it both so well. They got Greek specialties like gyros and souvlaki and the grape leaves and the spinach pie, and also great New York thin, crisp New York-style Greek pizza with pepperoni. Don't miss that one. And of course, spinach and gorgonzola. Costa is a great guy. He'll smash a plate, say Opa, and greet and treat you like family. Go to Costas. It's open every day for lunch and dinner. Tell him the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you.
And we're back on the Lunchbox Remote Edition on National Cuban Sandwich Day. We broke protocol. We brought in another eatery's food into Even Keel Fish Shack, but that's okay. Brad
This is
so
the prize
cool.
taker right here. This Lobster Roll.
Cuban Sandwich Day, National Sandwich Month, and I don't know where Sarni went. Sarni, if you're keeping score,
Tony's here.
let's just see. Yesterday I was at 32, 33, 34. I'm
Okay, you're
at
at 34
34
sandwiches.
sandwiches,
Yes,
and I
sir.
think
With
I
a
got
week
a
to go.
whole week to go. I got
to go.
8 days to go.
More than yeah.
I might go for 50.
You're going to have to go
No,
on the
we
injured
don't.
reserve
Yeah,
list
I'm
pretty
like Jim
soon.
Carrey in The Mask. Somebody stop me.
Please.
It's going to be physically unable to
Somebody
perform.
stop
I
him.
mean,
And
The
Sarni
old
got me
PUP.
the
Yeah.
Sandwich Month shirt. I feel like John Belushi, you know, how he had the sweatshirt that just
Yeah.
said college.
always promote yourself.
He,
It's a good way to go.
he
Yeah.
should have just put sandwiches or something like that, and I would have just worn a
It's a
shirt.
bold endeavor on your part, Mike Mayo. I mean, a lot of people are appreciating it. You're starting to get a little funky and a little fuzzy because the other day, did you see this thing he puts up there?
The
Like,
bagel.
well, if I dip a bagel in cream cheese, is that a sandwich?
I didn't.
It's like, what the bleep, Mayo? What's gotten into you? You're a food critic, for God's sake. You should know these
I'm
things.
throwing out
Standards.
questions. We call them talkers. You know, get the group talking. And I didn't dip.
Just mention Monterano. You're going to talk.
Exactly.
That's talk about
I meant to bring this up to you.
Yeah.
Also, I saw this and I didn't realize it. I'm sure you're aware of it. But this
Go ahead.
Italy is coming to Miami. The restaurant that Mario Battaglia was part of, right? He started
the one in New York,
but had to
it's like
leave,
a Italian food hall marketplace
via disgrace. He was out of
the
it.
Food Network.
He's out of picture. But what do you think of that? Is that a big deal or not?
I think I'm going to have this last oyster, and then I'll give you my opinion.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead and suck that down.
Okay, is it like what we have these markets where it's different kinds of restaurants, or it's different kinds of Italian?
I thought it was one big Italian restaurant.
It's all different Italian foods and products, but in different stalls and purveyors.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
And what do you
So
think?
there's a place that just has Italian cheeses. There's
Okay.
a place that's all pastas.
Nice.
There's some sit down
Oh,
restaurants.
I get it. All right.
So it's
Okay.
like, consider it like a regular food hall, except it's all under one theme. It's all
Yeah.
Italian food.
Okay.
And there's so many different regions of Italy.
Yep,
There's the
yep.
seafood, there's the northern stuff where you get things like made with wild boar. There's the cured meats, the Sulameria with the prosciuttos.
Florence.
Yeah.
You get some steak. You get into
You can
beef.
get a Florentine steak, a butcher shop. So that's the concept. Great, another New York invader. I'm very excited about that.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, but I like it. Though. I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's a great
good. The
idea.
variety is a
Like,
spice of life, my
But
friend.
what I like better is instead of all these New York imports like that Carbone place, and you know what? I haven't been in there
What
yet.
was the deal with Carbone?
Well,
I'm
no.
not
I mean, they're just
familiar.
charging $85 for a veal chop, and I used to get it. They're a knockoff of all these places that I grew up with in Brooklyn, like
Okay.
a place called Bamonte and Gargiulo's, and those places you get a veal chop. Growing up for $22. Now I know it's not 1978 anymore, but
Yeah,
even
it's
now
like
you get a
Defo.
veal chop there for $48.
See, he walks into his own traps
You
and then he
sound
has to
like
explain
Defo.
himself. It's so funny.
All right, but forget
Yeah.
about Carbone. What I'm thinking about is like we've got good food halls here that have showcased Miami's own chefs
Flavors,
and products, like that Time Out Miami marketplace down in South Beach off Lincoln Road. I mean, they have some great chefs like the guys from Ariette, Michael Beltran. He had a stand there. He had Norman Van Aken had a stand there. Like some of Miami's own flavors were
Yeah.
there. So as opposed to getting all giddy and excited about like some knockoff of Italy coming here,
Yeah.
I get more excited about homegrown products. But and there's that other thing, the smorgasbord place that's like Smorgasborg. It's on Saturdays only down in Wynwood. Also, a lot of little different vendors, including our friends from Shamuja.
Nice.
He set up a little stall, and he's become a big hit down there. And Keiichi opened up a second location down out Alton Road, as opposed to the original one out in Southwest Ranches. But it's good to see local people being able to display and put
Yeah.
on their products. Now, a New York invader that I am excited about and that I have to get down to. Did you see that Joe's Pizza from the original one is down in Greenwich Village, like the corner of 6th Avenue and Carmine Street and Bleecker Street? It's the greatest slice joint in New York. They have multiple locations up there now, but they opened a new location in Wynwood.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
All right.
And the guy who
Is it worth the jog for this pizza?
Well, I don't want to go, but if you happen to be down in
Yeah.
Wynwood and
Yeah,
out
yeah.
and about or at the Arch Center one night, I definitely plan on checking it out because I grew up with Joe's, the original. I love their slices. Very simple. Sauce a little bit sweet. But the guy, there's one reviewer who I really respect a lot. He writes for The Infatuation, which is like kind of a website, food-based website down in Miami. The guy's name is Ryan Pfeffer. He's very entertaining. But he proclaimed it a great slice and maybe the greatest slice in Miami.
Oh.
And
Really?
again, if
Has
they've
Portnoy
imported,
been down there
We have
yet?
a lot of good slices down here.
Yeah.
On the show, we featured two.
oh yeah, no. Look, we've got pizza galore, and a lot of these places are more like sit down pie,
Yeah.
whole pie joints, as opposed to the classic New York order a slice, fold it up, and just take it on the run.
Yeah.
Joe's is a classic New York slice joint, so I'm looking forward to getting back down there.
All right, sounds
So,
good.
Yeah,
I had another funny thing that happened to me, though. This is Let's Eat South Florida material, and you'll see a lot of comments on this. But, okay, so at one point, I think I ordered a bowl of chili, like late at night. At the, there were only a couple of restaurants open there in the casino, and it was pouring outside. Couldn't get anywhere, and it was late. And so after a long time, the guy finally brings the order up. And, this is, you go back up, pick up your order, and then go sit down. So I unwrapped this thing, and it's only half full.
Oh, jeez.
Now, do you go back to the guy who was super busy? He was only one guy working the counter, and it was taking a long time for the orders. Do you go back and say, "What's this?" Or do you just say, you know what, I'm probably better off only eating half a bowl of this stuff anyway?
Right.
At
You
this
just
point?
take the loss.
Yeah.
You just get what you
Is
get.
that old school? Because my mom, I of course will complain about portion size,
I want it filled to the brim.
but I never dawns on me to go complain to them. Like I've
Yeah.
never thought, let me go ask for more. My mom will do that all the time with coffee, with soup. She'll say, look, you didn't fill it up. And like, is that?
Look,
I would never think to do that.
This was noticeably low, though. I mean,
It's
it was like
noticeably
half
low,
a tank
but
of
where
gas.
were you, at a table or back in your room?
No, you know,
fast
it's one of these
food-ish.
places you order and then you wait for your order and they put it up on the counter and then you go find a table. And
Oh, so
sit
you were
down.
right there. You
Yeah,
could
I
have
was
gone
there.
right
I could have
back.
gone right back.
Was there
and
a
said
long
something.
line? Was he in the weeds?
The guy was a little bit lost. It took a long time. I mean, my stuff I saw sitting on the counter there, ready to be served, like 15
Look.
minutes before I got it.
Look,
Which is also an
sometimes-
alienation point.
Sometimes, like you, I just say, I'll
I
take
hate
the
it.
loss.
I mean, I just
hate
don't
it,
literally,
need to
yeah,
eat the
yeah.
whole amount. It'd probably be better for me. Was it late at night?
Yeah.
So
it was
you don't
one
need
of those
the
deals where just
you really
cutting the
want
booze.
a full bowl of chili with onions right before you go to bed.
There were no onions offered, unfortunately. No
I mean,
onions.
upset
offered.
about no
No
onions,
onions.
Oh, wow.
exactly.
Okay, well, that's a concession to age right
Well,
there.
no
but
hot sauce offered, no
maybe
nothing.
he took a look at you and said, this guy doesn't need a full bowl
Oh,
of chili
God.
later.
That's not
It
his
could
job.
be. That's possible. But I really did need it because I had like 16 cocktails.
I admire you. I would probably, again, if it's late at
I was
night,
tempted.
I
was
don't
tempted.
need the full bowl of chili. I'll take the loss. But there's two schools of thought. It's like either you go back and you say, hey, it's a little short. Can you give a little more on here?
Yeah.
And you
I consider you
smear
the
guy-
Torah of
you sh-
food ethics, though. So I thought
no,
of you.
and
I
and
said,
then
what
you
would
drop
Mayo
down.
do?
You drop down to an extra $2 at the schmear. You know, like the guy that give.
No, I gave the
at
guy a tip, which most people weren't. I mean, most
Right.
people were not tipping these
and
people.
especially
Yeah, yeah.
if he saw the
Gotta
tip
pick 'em.
and he acknowledged it, then he should be happy to fill you
I
up.
try to grease everybody in a
Yeah.
casino setting. Just
Oh,
give
yeah,
everybody
Now,
some money.
I think Lubie, I don't know if he's new school, where you just go take your half bowl and then go online and just flame them all over the place, like on Yelp.
I wouldn't do that either. I would
you know.
just eat it. I would take the L.
I just used you as an example.
I
But,
understand.
but kids today, and
we went
also,
Mattingly. We just resigned ourselves to
There-
losing.
people
on
would-
that.
Yeah, that's what I would
just
do.
go onto the Let's Eat South Florida group without ever going to the restaurant and voicing the comments. That's the thing that drives me
I
nuts
hate
the
that.
most is like, don't take it to 80,000 people or Yelp or the
No.
whole world and start screaming about places, how they did you this grave injustice. If you didn't even give them a chance
Exactly.
to correct it or let them know what went wrong in the beginning.
Yep.
That's my, soapbox. So, but everybody's different. And if if they feel better by going on there and blasting them, then I'm going to,
Yeah, but what
just
would
kind
you
of-
have done? You haven't answered it.
What? No, I said I would have
It's
taken
kind of
the
a
loss.
toss-up.
If you wanna
Yeah,
take the L.
yeah.
If it's late at night, I don't need a full bowl of chili
Okay.
because I have acid reflux, so I probably shouldn't be eating
Yeah,
chili
thanks,
at
John.
maybe
10
so,
o'clock
yeah.
at night anyway.
It was one of the few offerings they had that appealed to me at this particular place, which people were complaining there weren't a lot of food choices. But then I looked at the other menu that was on the right side that was a little bit out of view, and they had like a zillion different things that you could have had. So, that complaint was not founded in any kind of reality.
Well, as long as the place, you
but it
ordered,
looked weird. It just looked weird. It was
What-
like they ran out, and this was the bottom.
Yes,
well, what
yes,
would have been
yes.
worse is if you ordered chili, they gave you chicken noodle soup, and then they insisted that was
That
chili.
happened to me there too. I mean, it was really,
that
really
would
weird.
be weird.
I wanted to mention,
That would be
though,
weird.
this
How
was.
does a steakhouse? Did you? I mean, not that you live in
How
New
can you not
Orleans.
be able to differentiate?
No,
I mean,
but
it's
how do you?
ridiculous.
Did you go to a manager and say your
Dude,
people
come on.
need basic
No,
retraining?
no.
Like just shove it in his face. Like, what does this look like?
That's
What does this look
Mayo
like?
would do.
Look,
Go to the
I
manager.
knew it was a freebie. I tend to be more lenient in my understanding.
Criticism.
You get what you don't pay
of
for.
something
That's
like
my
that.
other
But,
thing. It's like,
at the same time, I mean, if they're repping this restaurant as a great place, which they do, and are very proud of it. Well, then do a good job. That's all. I mean, you're only asking people, to go Belichick and do your job.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
Speaking of do your job, we're here at Even Keel Fish Shack.
Yes.
They do their job extraordinarily here. Corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard. I urge everybody to come check it out. Perfect place for like late summer vibes.
Yep.
Feel the breeze
This is
wafting
fine.
in
It's an extension of New Orleans here, and
It's
they're not really
wafting
New Orleans
in.
themed. Yeah.
from right. The beach is right down the block. Literally a oyster throw away. You come in here. They have the frozen drink machine going. They have the daily specials. They got the hour 4 to 7. They've got the $2 oysters all day. I love Brad and Dave. I love Even Keel. Another place I love, and Tropical Acres. We got to give them major
Yeah,
props.
that was great
wow,
last
what a
week.
job.
Because we had a fantastic meal last week. We had the Twin Lobster special that's ongoing every weeknight, $35 for 2 of those babies. This is the bet me and Lubie had. Did you eat that second lobster before you went to New Orleans, or did you end up just tossing it?
No, I ended up eating it the next day.
Nice.
Wow, good
I'll
for
tell you
you.
why, because I didn't want to leave it. I'm not sure how well it preserves in
No,
the
no.
refrigerator.
No, I
Not
wouldn't
good
think
at
at all.
You know, they tend to kind of,
one day.
deteriorate a little bit. The shell gets softer, and you can tell there's a little bit of a difference. But
I mean, I've never reheated a lobster, but
I will say this: it was very, very good, even the next day.
Cold
Oh,
the
nice.
next day,
Absolutely,
a cold,
wonderful.
picked apart lobster the next day as a leftover. You
Yeah.
can put it on a little bit of lettuce.
I
or
melted a little
or you
butter.
make your
Yeah.
own lobster roll if you have a hot dog bun lying around. But no, that was a fantastic meal. All debts are settled. I have to figure out. We had Perky on yesterday. Chris Perkins was on
Coming
the
the
show,
Dolphins now.
and I was
Did
asking
you want to
him-
make a bet about the
Well,
Fins?
he's
I
always
was-
going to guide him.
I was asking him for advice on the over-under. He was leaning under the 8.5.
A lot of people are. I don't know why.
I have until September 1st, and I think I want to go against type and actually go down as being like a positive rah-rah
How do they
cheerleader.
not win the same number of games, which would be the over of 9, that they won last year when they stunk?
Because
They
I
were
don't know.
1 and
Since he got
7.
better, they have a tough
Life
schedule,
is
all
a
those
mystery. I've got another week to figure that out. What
All schedules in the NFL are tough, though. I mean, you can't
know.
go with it. Don't be,
Hey,
influenced by that.
on any given Sunday, any team
Right,
could
right.
be. any
Well,
other
I mean,
team.
but look, every schedule looks tough in the beginning, and then you don't know how it's
You
going to
never know.
transpire. But if you had a team that rallied to win 8 out of 9 at the end of last year under difficult circumstances, with a coach who was under fire and with great acrimony, and a quarterback that was unsure of whether he wanted to play or not, and not near the offensive firepower they should have this year, then why wouldn't you think they would at least win 9 games this year when they're not going to start 1 and 7?
I gotta wait. I'll make a decision soon. But you know who's had
I would
a
go under just based on
winning
what I just
season
said.
Always
after
consistent.
winning season
Always consistent.
73 years in a row?
Who's this now?
Tropical Acres.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Tropical
Thank you
Acres.
for
Yeah, yeah,
listening.
yeah.
That we're going back.
No,
to
I didn't hear the
He
beginning of what you
got
said.
lost.
I thought you were talking football there.
He
Yeah.
got- No, I was trying to segue
Trying to
back
bring
to the
it back
live
to
spot
Tropical Acres.
that we
See,
gotta get this out of the way.
You got my habits now where you're so far out there, nobody knows what you're talking about. Yeah.
We've come back in. We had the meal last week. The
Yeah.
debt is settled.
That was great.
But for all those who haven't been to Tropical Acres in a while, I got to tell you, this place, I love it so much.
It's great.
And this week, teachers are loving it because Jack Studiali, class individual, oozes class. He's putting on his promotion. It's all booked up. So if you're a teacher, he might maybe run the promotion again next year. But teachers, he's giving a free entree up to $35 value for the rest of this week. Actually, till Tuesday,
you the
Wednesday,
lobster special,
Thursday.
yeah.
Gets you a lobster special. Gets you a nice cut of prime rib or a filet mignon. We enjoyed all that stuff. And 2500 Griffin Road, just west of the airport and I-95. Butcher shop is open every day but Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The dining room is open every day but Sunday starting at 4:30 with the early bird special. The bar has happy hour 4:30 to 6:30.
So that's my advice to do the Mayo move. That was great.
Get a
Get
drink.
there during happy hour. They have great specials, and the food's really good. And then ease into dinner and have a
Right.
nice.
And then when you get into
meal.
the dining room, you don't need to have a cocktail or an appetizer.
Take
You
your
just
time.
go right to the main event
Yep.
and a little glass of wine or a bottle of wine. Tonight, half-price wine night.
There
So
you go.
how could you not get a full bottle of wine when it's almost as cheap as getting 2 glasses?
Yeah.
It is.
Tropical Acres, they are the kings of service, quality, and value. We love them so much. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox crew sent you.
You know what was nice too? I always love this because you see other people having a great time in there.
Yeah, everyone has a glass.
I don't know why. We've talked about this a zillion times that there would be ensconced in any kind of debate about its quality or their intentions in terms of being a great restaurant. But I just look around. I see everybody having a ball. I'm like, okay, these guys are doing it right. And we had a fantastic time. And a great meal also.
A lovely evening.
Yeah.
And next time, hopefully, it'll be on you. Either there.
Well, I don't know. I
or
think it's going to be on Perkins, maybe.
Oh,
that would be great. And
Do
make sure you invite Lubie and I,
All right.
to go out there because that would be a wonderful thing to do.
And Hyde. We'll have to get the whole Sun Sentinel crew out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sarnie, I mean,
Heard him this morning. Sounded good. All right. We'll be
Yeah.
back after these words to wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. Serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. From our friends at Visit Lauderdale and Lauder Deals, don't miss Dine Out Lauderdale during August and September in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Dozens of top restaurants are offering amazing 3 and 4 course meals starting at just $35. See all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus from more than 50 participating restaurants online at visitlauderdale.com/deals. More taste sensations are being added daily, so plan your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale and get your taste of the good life for less. Dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Got me with my mouth full once again.
Not surprising and
No.
not uncommon on
When
this
your
show.
mouth not
Much
full.
to the
Well, when you're
chagrin-
working double-fisted here, I mean, you're throwing lefts, you're throwing rights, you're throwing bombs with either hand.
There goes the lobster roll. This 4-star,
Yeah.
almost top. I'm gonna do a ranking of all, however many it ends up, 40 sandwiches
Yeah.
for Sandwich Month. And this one has got to be almost top of the trust right
You're going to
now.
do an AP UPI ranking?
Yes.
Very nice. And the coaches poll, of course, is always under consideration.
Crystal Trophy. This puts that Huso dog at that Marquis caviar with that pathetic amount of king crab leg in that. Oh man, that was just the worst value. The flavor wasn't terrible. It just was not a good presentation.
This is a different approach, though, too. I mean, it's a little bit different than just throwing some lobster, kind of salad on there.
Yeah, look at this bread.
And,
Like
a little
butter
bit of celery or whatever they put on it.
Toasted
and some
brioche.
mayonnaise. Yeah.
Very soft and buttery, and it just
Rolls awesome. Yeah.
envelops the warm lobster that's drenched in that beautiful Fresno lime butter. Look at those little micro chives. They chop up the chives. I mean, that's the kind of
You feel like you just pulled in a Bangor, Maine or something. And, found a chef that was a little bit out there, a little existential in his approach. Just absolutely amazing. Brad's great. He's one of the most enthusiastic guys in the restaurant business. And it definitely shows in the way people
Homemade
enjoy this
chips?
place.
fresh cut homemade potato chips.
They got a little kick to them also.
They have like a thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Got a little bit
do
of
it
kick.
all. Man, and I guess I'll keep eating the Cuban sandwich.
So you're reading
In
on the
honor-
Cuban sandwich. I know they upset you with
Looks like
the pulled
mayonnaise
pork. The
mustard.
shredded pork thing is not
shredded pork, demerit.
You don't like the mayonnaise.
Mayo mustard,
Yeah.
demerit. They didn't even get that proper press crunch on the bread. It was a little bit.
You should have just
soggy
fired
on
it
the
right
bread.
back at Sarnia. and
No,
said,
I'm
"Here."
not going to do that. Look,
It
sorry,
was
that's
a
great.
nice thing he did.
To
I
pick
had
it
no
up so
problem.
that we could actually have Cuban sandwiches on Cuban Sandwich.
I think
How
Very
can it be
sweet.
a day of a sandwich inside the month of the sandwich, though?
It's a sandwich in a
Every day
sandwich.
is
It's like the
a day.
turducken.
Isn't that double jeopardy? I mean, what is that? There's something wrong with that.
I don't know, but I need a torpedo therapist.
You need Trump's attorneys to file a motion to postpone the.
I hear the music. We're done for today. We'll
Using
be
that
back
sandwich
tomorrow with
as a
another
prop.
edition of the Lunchbox. Thanks for tuning in. Come on out to Even Keel. Thanks to Brad. For Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz. I'm Mike. Stuffed my face with sandwiches. Mayo. And
40 of them already. 40.
No,
right?
30. We're at 34. 32. I've lost
Did you
count.
count that bagel and the schmear? Or
Yes,
what was
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
that's
you did.
34.
All right,
so you're
34.
Fudging
We'll
the
see
numbers.
everybody again tomorrow. Remember, enjoy every sandwich.